How are you guys doing? Today is Wednesday, January 6th, 2021, out here in this quarantine. I'm James Sims, and for this episode of The Elite, I'm going to take you through the Elite performances from yesterday, Tuesday, January 5th, and of course, I'm going to preview everything that's going on tonight as we jump from sport to sport. I'm going to start with the NBA. And by starting with the NBA, I'm going to start from just going to go down the list in terms of what games caught the eye yesterday and how they shape up today. Starting in Brooklyn, the Brooklyn Nets hosted the Utah Jazz and were able to beat the Jazz 130-96, a 34-point win, especially after beating the Jazz by 21 in the first quarter and 9 in the fourth. And they just kind of dominated this one from the opening tip. For the Utah Jazz, their leading scorer was their elite shooting guard, Donovan Mitchell, who would finish with 31 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists, shooting 10 for 22 from the field in 30 minutes. He shot 3 for 8 from 3 and 8 for 10 from the field. Their elite center, Rudy Gobert, would finish with 10 points, 11 rebounds, and 3 assists and 2 blocks, shooting 3 for 10 from the field in 27 minutes and 4 for 5 from the free throw line. For the Brooklyn Nets, off the bench, their shooting guard, Caris LeVert, would finish with 24 points and 5 assists, along with 2 steals in 21 minutes, shooting 9 for 18 from the field, 2 for 5 from 3, and 4 for 4 from the line. Their starting center, Jared Allen, would finish with 19 points and 18 rebounds, along with 3 steals and 2 blocks, shooting 8 for 9 from the field in 32 minutes. Their goated forward, Kevin Durant, wasn't playing, but their elite point guard, Kyrie Irving, would lead the team in scoring as he finished with 29 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, and 3 blocks, as he finished the game shooting 12 for 19 from the field and 5 for 9 from 3. With this win, the Brooklyn Nets are sitting in sole place for the 9th best record in the East with this 4-4 with a 4-4 record, and with this loss, the Utah Jazz are currently tied for the 4th best record in the West with a 4-3 record with the New Orleans Pelicans following this loss yesterday. Jumping out to Memphis, the Memphis Grizzlies hosted the 2020 NBA champs, the Los Angeles Lakers. And in this game, the Los Angeles Lakers would beat the Grizzlies 94-92, especially off of a last-second possession, which they were able to stretch their winning streak to 4, jump out to 6 wins on the season. For the Memphis Grizzlies, their leading scorer off the bench was their center, Gorgui Dieng, who finished with 13 points and 4 rebounds, along with 2 steals. Their starting center, Jonas Valanciunas and Dillon Brooks, their shooting guard, would also finish with 13 points each. Valanciunas would finish with 11 points as he shot 4 for 13 from the field in 26 minutes, and Dillon Brooks finished with 5 rebounds along with his 13 points, additionally 2 assists and 2 steals, shooting 5 for 13 from the field in 29 minutes. For the Los Angeles Lakers, their elite power forward, Anthony Davis, would finish with 26 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals, and 3 blocks, shooting 10 for 20 from the field, 4 for 10 from 3, and 2 for 3 from the free throw line. In addition to him, their goated small forward, LeBron James, would finish with 26 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists, shooting 11 for 20 from the field, 1 for 4 from 3, and 3 for 3 from the free throw line. With this win, the Los Angeles Lakers are sitting at 6-2, sitting in sole position with the best record in the West. With this record, they're the only team with that record. And with this loss, the Memphis Grizzlies are now 2-5, tied with the Timberwolves for the worst record in the conference as it currently stands. Jumping out to Denver, the Nuggets hosted the Minnesota Timberwolves and were able to beat them 123-116 after outscoring the Timberwolves by 10 in the fourth quarter in order to overcome their deficit after the third quarter, and they were able to pick up a solid win for the hometown team. For the Minnesota Timberwolves, off the bench, their number 1 overall pick from the 2020 NBA draft, Anthony Edwards, would finish with 15 points and 3 rebounds in 26 minutes, shooting 6 for 19 from the field and 1 for 7 from 3. Their starting shooting guard, Malik Beasley, would finish with 15 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists, shooting 5 for 16 from the field in 38 minutes. Their starting power forward, Juan Hernan Gomez, would finish with 25 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals, shooting 10 for 14 from the field and 5 for 8 from 3. And their leading scorer was their elite shooting guard, D'Angelo Russell, who'd finish with 33 points, 3 rebounds, 11 assists, and 2 steals, shooting 10 for 21 from the field, 4 for 9 from 3, and 9 for 10 from the free throw line. For the Denver Nuggets, off their bench, their forward, Jeff Green, would finish with 17 points and 6 rebounds in 20 minutes, shooting 5 for 8 from the field and 3 for 3 from 3. Their starting shooting guard, Will Barton, would finish with 20 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals, shooting 7 for 14 from the field in 36 minutes. Their elite point guard, Jamal Murray, would finish with 13 points and 3 assists in 32 minutes, shooting 3 for 7 from the field and 6 for 6 from the free throw line. And their leading scorer was their elite center, Nikola Jokic, who'd finish with 35 points, 15 rebounds, 6 assists, and 3 steals, shooting 12 for 20 from the field in 37 minutes, 1 for 1 from 3, and 10 for 12 from the free throw line. With this win, the Denver Nuggets are currently sitting at 3-4, which is good enough to tie them for the 7th best record in the West, with the Kings, the Mavericks, the Spurs, and the Trailblazers as it currently stands. And with this loss, the Timberwolves are tied with the Grizzlies at the bottom of the West with a 2-5 record as the West currently stands. Jumping out into Los Angeles, the Clippers hosted the San Antonio Spurs, and the Spurs were able to get the best of the Clippers, beating them 116-113, especially after outscoring the Clippers by 19 in the first half. The Clippers tried to come back, but it wasn't enough as the Spurs were able to hold on for their 3rd win of the season. For the Los Angeles Clippers, off the bench, their shooting guard, Lemon Pepper Lou Williams, would finish with 15 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists, shooting 5 for 13 in 21 minutes. Their starting point guard, Patrick Beverley, would finish with 30 points, or he's finished with 20 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists, shooting 7 for 10 from the field and 6 for 9 from 3 in 33 minutes. Their starting small forward, Nicholas Batum, would finish with 21 points and 9 rebounds, shooting 8 for 12 from the field in 36 minutes. And then their goated small forward, Kawhi Leonard, would finish with 30 points, 3 rebounds, 10 assists, and 2 steals, shooting 13 for 12 from the field in 37 minutes, 1 for 3 from 3, and 3 for 3 from the free throw line, as Paul George, their elite wing, did not play. For the San Antonio Spurs, off the bench, their small forward, Rudy Gay, would finish with 16 points and 7 rebounds, shooting 6 for 11 from the field and 3 for 5 from 3. Their starting point guard, DeJounte Murray, would finish with 21 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists, shooting 9 for 18 from the field in 37 minutes. And their leading scorer was Patty Mills, their point guard off the bench, who finished with 27 points in 29 minutes, shooting 8 for 16 from the field, 8 for 12 from 3, and 3 for 4 from the free throw line. With this win, the San Antonio Spurs are now 3-4, which is tied for the 8th best tied for the 7th best record in the West, with the Nuggets and other teams that I mentioned before. And with this loss, the Los Angeles Clippers are now sitting 3rd in the West with a 5-3 record. They are the only team in the conference with that record as it currently stands. And jumping down to Portland, the Portland Trailblazers hosted the Chicago Bulls, and in this game, the Bulls were able to beat the Portland Trailblazers 111-108 after outscoring the Trailblazers by 7 in the 4th quarter in order to gain this lead and run away with it. For the Portland Trailblazers, their elite starting point guard, Damian Lillard, would finish with 24 points, 5 rebounds, and 9 assists, shooting 6 for 17 from the field in 37 minutes, 3 for 11 from 3, and 9 for 11 from the free throw line. The Blazers' leading scorer was CJ McCollum, who'd finished with 26 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 steals, shooting 10 for 21 from the field in 36 minutes, and 6 for 4 from the three-point line. For the Chicago Bulls, their starting shooting guard, Zach LaVine, would finish with 18 points, 4 rebounds, and 9 assists, shooting 6 for 18 from the field, 3 for 10 from 3, and 3 for 3 from the line. Their starting small forward, Otto Porter Jr., would finish with 19 points and 13 rebounds, shooting 7 for 14 from the field, 4 for 7 from 3, and 1 for 2 from the free throw line in 28 minutes. And the Bulls' leading scorer was their starting point guard, Kobe White, who'd finished with 21 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists in 39 minutes as he shot 8 for 19 from the field, 2 for 7 from 3, and 3 for 4 from the free throw line. With this win, the Chicago Bulls are sitting at 4-4, which is good enough to sit them to tie them for the 9th best record in the East with the Brooklyn Nets as it currently stands. And with this loss, the Portland Trailblazers are now currently sitting 3-4, tied in 7th with the Kings, the Mavericks, the Spurs, the Nuggets as the West currently stands. Those were the games from yesterday, and looking forward to what's going on in the NBA today on Wednesday, January 6th. Starting with the mainstream games at 7:30, the 3-3 Miami Heat are going to host the 5-3 Boston Celtics, as this is a rematch of, I believe, the Eastern Conference Finals at 7:30 on ESPN. And then following that game at 10 o'clock, the 4-3 Golden State Warriors are going to host the 5-3 Los Angeles Clippers on ESPN, as Steph Curry seeks to take on the duo of Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. With the other games, at 7 o'clock, the 5-2 Indiana Pacers are going to host the 2-3 Houston Rockets. These 5-2 Orlando Magic are going to host the 4-3 Cleveland Cavaliers, also at 7. And the 6-1 76ers are going to host the 2-5 Washington Wizards. At 7:30, the 4-3 Atlanta Hawks are going to host the 2-5 New Orleans Hornets. The 4-3 New York Knicks are going to host the 4-3 Jazz. At 8 o'clock, the 4-3 Milwaukee Bucks are going to host the 1-6 Detroit Pistons. The 4-3 New Orleans Pelicans are going to host the 2-4 OKC Thunder. At 9 o'clock, the 5-2 Phoenix Suns are going to host the 1-5 Toronto Raptors. And then at 10 o'clock, the 3-4 Sacramento Kings are going to host the 4-4 Chicago Bulls. Really quickly, looking out to NCAA basketball to show you what's going on in that schedule, especially among the elite, among the ranked teams. The fourth-ranked Texas Longhorns were able to beat Iowa State 78-72. Behind Andrew Jones' 23 points, as they were able to extend their record to 9-1 on the season, as they're now 3-0 in the Big Ten. With this loss, Iowa State is 2-6, and they are 0-4 in the Big Ten. Staying in the Big Ten, the sixth-ranked Kansas Jayhawks were able to go to TCU and beat them 93-64 after outscoring the Jayhawks by 14 points in the first and 15 in the second half. David McCormick would finish with 20 points and 8 rebounds for Kansas. With this win, they would jump to 9-2 and 3-1 in the Big 12. With this loss, TCU is 9-3 and they are 2-2 in the Big 12 as it currently stands. 13th ranked Missouri went to Mississippi State, and in this game, Mississippi State was able to beat Mizzou 78-63 by 15 points after they outscored Mizzou by 27 points in the second half. DJ Stewart Jr. would finish with 24 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists, as Mississippi State with this win are currently sitting with a 7-4 record. They are 2-1 in the SEC, and with this loss, Mizzou is 7-2, and they are 1-2 in the SEC. 23rd ranked Michigan State hosted 15th ranked Rutgers and were able to beat them 68-45 after outscoring Rutgers by 17 in the second half. Aaron Henry would finish with 20 points and 8 rebounds for Michigan State, and with this win, Michigan State is now 8-3. They are 2-3 in the Big Ten. And with this loss, Rutgers is 7-3. They are 3-3 in the Big Ten as it currently stands. The 18th ranked Texas Tech Raiders hosted the unranked Kansas State Wildcats and were able to beat them 82-71 after outscoring them in both halves. Terrence Shannon Jr. would finish with 22 points and 6 rebounds for Texas Tech, and with this win, they are now 9-3. They are 2-2 in the Big 12, and with this loss, Kansas State is now 5-7. They are 1-3 in the Big 12. 19th ranked Clemson hosted unranked NC State and were able to beat them 70-74 in overtime, as Nick Honors, sorry if I butchered your name, Nick Honor would finish with 21 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists. With this win, Clemson is now 9-1 on the season. They are 3-1 in the ACC, and with this loss, NC State is now 6-2 as they drop to 2-1 in the ACC. Looking at how games are going to be played today, starting at 6:30, unranked Louisville will host 19th ranked Virginia Tech on ACC Network. At 7 o'clock, 9th ranked Tennessee is going to host unranked Arkansas. Even though Arkansas and Tennessee are both 1-1 in the SEC, they only have 1 loss in the season. That game's going to be on ESPN2. At 8 o'clock, 11th ranked Houston is going to host unranked Wichita State on ESPN+. At 8:30, 21st ranked Duke is going to host unranked Boston College on ACC Network. Also at 8:30, 10th ranked Michigan is going to host 16th ranked Minnesota on Big Ten Network. At 9, the 2nd ranked Baylor Bears are going to host unranked Oklahoma on ESPN2. At 7th ranked Creighton is going to host unranked Seton Hall. At 9 o'clock, 22nd ranked UVA is going to host unranked Wake Forest at ACC Network X. And those are the big matchups today. Jumping really quickly as we're staying within the context of college sports, Devontae Smith was the first wide receiver to win the Heisman Award ever, especially after putting up 20 touchdowns in a shortened season for Alabama this year. And the elite wide receiver is going to go into the 2021 into the NFL draft with the momentum that he carried from this season. And he still has a championship game to play. So, of course, that also happened as well. Congratulations for Devontae Smith, the elite wide receiver for the Alabama Crimson Tide, because it's a big honor for him winning it, especially as a wide receiver in the sport. And then really quickly, jumping out to soccer to show you what's going on in the world of soccer. Following yesterday's performances, starting with the British teams, Tottenham Hotspur was able to beat Brentford 2-0 in the Carabao Cup as they advance. Son Heung-min, their elite forward, would finish in the 70th. He would score the second goal of the match in the 70th minute to help Tottenham Hotspur advance to the next round. That was the only big game from yesterday. Looking forward to today's matchup. Starting with the English Carabao Cup, it'll be a Manchester derby as Manchester United hosts Man City at 2:45. As it currently sits in the table, Man U is second in the table and Man U is fifth. It'll be a very interesting Carabao Cup matchup to see who advances to the next round. And then looking at Italian Serie A matchups for today, it looks as though AC Milan's going to play against Juventus. Two of the top teams in the Serie A is AC Milan is the literal top team in the table. Juventus is sitting fifth in the table. They are 10 points behind AC Milan with one less game played. And a win here could possibly see them move closer to the teams that are sitting at the top of the Italian league. Jumping to La Liga, Athletic Bilbao is going to host Barcelona at 3 o'clock. As if we look at that table, Barcelona is still trying to catch up where they currently sit in the table. They're sitting fifth. They are sitting 10 points behind first place Atletico Madrid, even though they've played one more game. A win here could possibly see them move past Villarreal and Sociedad, as they are 1 and 2 points behind both those teams, as Barcelona, with this win, could settle comfortably within the top 3 of La Liga. Looking at Ligue 1 in France, PSG is going to face off against Saint-Etienne at 3 o'clock. As we look at that league, PSG is currently sitting third in that table. They are 1 point behind Lille and Lyon. So a win here could possibly see them shoot right back up to the top of Ligue 1, as Olympique Lyonnais is going to host Lens. And Lille is going to host Angers at 3 o'clock, so that's going to be a big matchup. Looking at the Spanish Copa del Rey, looking at the big matchups for there, Atletico Madrid is going to face up against UD Cornellà, and that's going to be the big matchup, the only big team in Spain that's playing in that matchup. But with that said, that's everything that's going on for today, Wednesday, January 6th, 2021, out here in this quarantine. I want to thank everyone once again for listening to all 17 minutes of this piece. I hope all is well, and I'll catch you tomorrow following tomorrow's NBA games, and I'll catch you with that. Peace. I hope all is well. Thank you for listening to all 17 and a half minutes of my piece. Today is Wednesday, January 6th, 2021, and I will get back to you tomorrow following today's games. And with that said, I hope all is well. Peace out.